The Defensive Player of the Year award has been an award influenced by media campaigns for players that are playing at extraordinary levels, justifiably so. And with no clear frontrunner in 2025, I want to be the first person to start the campaign for Carolina Panthers superstar Derrick Brown. The Panthers have been a land where talent is drafted and developed in a losing situation to ultimately be shipped off to shine in bigger and better markets for almost a decade now. Christian McCaffrey, Brian Burns, Frankie Louvu, DJ Moore. The list goes on and on. I can name it for the rest of this video if I want. But with the Panthers sitting at 4-3 this year, that should end. And it's time to put the spotlight back on Charlotte. Today it starts with Derrick Brown's Defensive Player of the Year case, and I'm here to make it. What up, y'all? It's the Real Ball Watcher, grab big binoculars, and I'm back with another video. You already know what it is, man. This gonna be a little bit different of a video. You know, it's not our regular scheme video we've been doing this year every week. I will have a scheme video dropping on the offense. I was thinking about doing it on the defense, but this is a little more important. So this feel like a 2-video week, so be on the lookout for that second video, maybe on Wednesday or Thursday. One of those days we'll talk about this offense, specifically the running backs, and why it looks different with those two. Don't nobody steal my ID, all right? That's me. But anyways, hey, man, it's been time, man. The Panthers have been ignored for years. We've had great players that just get overlooked because of the situation that we're in, and now we're in a winning situation, or at least not an amicable situation. You know what type of situation we in. We got hope. So it's time to put the spotlight back on our players. If we don't push for players to get the love, they're not going to get it. So I hope y'all take this video, other content creators, reporters, whoever sees this, and start this campaign with me. I mean, shoot, if we got to start a hashtag, let me know. DB for DPOY, whatever you got to put, let's get it done. Now let's start the video. All right, man, it's kind of going to be a little similar to my older draft videos, or maybe not even my older draft videos, some of my older eval videos for draft guys. Let's start off with the run defense, man. When you're looking at our run defense last year, it was the worst in NFL history. There is no ifs, ands, or buts, or anything indifferent about it. It was the worst in NFL history, and it was the worst in the NFL. Nobody could tackle. Well, we were actually getting in the backfield, but nobody could finish plays. Guys were getting immense amount of yards after contact. It was just terrible. But we were missing somebody. Derrick Brown, the guy who broke the record for the most tackles from a defensive tackle, or I want to say a defensive lineman, most solo tackles period, or total tackles period, in 2023, missed all of 2024 except for one game. I think he played in that first Saints game. He had an injury that popped up a little bit after the game was over. Never seen him the rest of the year. And this is how we stacked up last year. We were dead last in the entire NFL in rushing yards allowed with 1,154 yards. We allowed the most 10-yard runs in the NFL, so most explosive runs in the NFL, period, with 83 10-plus yard runs allowed. That's more than 13 for the second place team. For the team that allowed the second most, we had 13 more than them. They had 70, we had 83. We were 31st in EPA per rush. EPA is a weird stat. I want to clear this up. EPA but under one person. Like if you're applying it to one player, it's not the best stat because it's much more of a team unit stat because there's a lot of context going into it. But if we're ranking it as a full unit, I think it is a useful stat. And for this one, we were 31st in EPA per rush at plus 0.11. Basically, we added plus 0.11 points to the opposite team score whenever they ran the ball on us. Only team that was worse was Dallas, which was surprising. I think they were like plus 1.4. But yeah, we were pretty bad. It's that simple. But then this year, we go out, we add a lot of guys. It's not all Derrick Brown, but we add Trayvon Moehrig, add a couple of defensive tackles to add to the defensive line. We finally got a nose tackle. And it looks completely different. If you look at it right now, we're 10th in yards allowed with only 391 yards so far. Now, the Bucs and the Lions have not played this week. They play on this Monday night. I'm recording this on Monday night. The Lions have allowed 350 yards. The Bucs have allowed 359 yards. If either of those teams just allow 40 rushing yards or 41 rushing yards, if in the case of the Lions, we will go down to the 8th best rushing defense in the NFL so far this year. Crazy jump, going from the worst unit maybe in history to a top 10 or a top 8 unit. Amazing turnaround. Look at it. 7th in 10-yard runs allowed. 7th in explosive runs allowed. Basically anything with 10 plus yards, that's an explosive run. We've only allowed 13 so far this season. And we're 8th in EPA allowed per rush, with instead of being plus 0.11, we're negative 0.11. So if you run the ball on us, you're losing 0.11 yards, or you're losing 0.11 points per play. So you don't want to lose. You don't want to run a ball against us because you're going to lose points. It's really that simple. Now, when it comes to Derrick Brown, I mean, bro, we already know what it is. He's super strong. His technique is really, really good. And because we're in the 3-4, we're moving him around a lot more. We're starting to see him matched up against tackles so he can get a lot better or have much better impact against outside runs. We're seeing him in the one eye, zero technique, moving him all across the line. He's beating double teams, fighting through gaps. He's just been a monster as a run defender, and we kind of already knew this, but to really extrapolate my point, I gotta tell y'all this. In the last 5 games, first off, in the last 5 games, the Panthers are 4-1. What a stat, you feel me? But in the last 5 games, the Panthers are 4-1. But in those last 5 games, they have faced 4 running backs that rank in the top 12 in rushing yards for the entire NFL. Bijan Robinson, who I want to say ranked 5th. You had Devon A-Chain, who ranked like 7th or 8th. You had Javonte Williams, who ranked 2nd. Breece Hall, he ranked 12th. In those games, we shut those rushing attacks down. But I made a little chart for y'all so y'all can see. I'm going to call it before DB and after DB. What is it? BDB, ADB, or DDB, because it would be during, basically when they were playing him. But in the weeks before, let's talk about it. Bijan Robinson up first because we played him first. Before they played the Carolina Panthers, before he seen Derrick Brown, he had 22 carries for 143 yards. Really, really good day. Really, really good day. It's the reason he's 5th in the league in rushing. But when he came to Charlotte and he had to get in front of Derrick Brown, he was held to only 13 rushes for 72 yards. No, I'm not providing context. We blew them boys out. They can't touch us. It don't matter. Let's move on. Devon A-Chain, before he played Derrick Brown, he had 20 carries, 99 yards, and a touchdown. Pretty decent game. Nothing like monstrous like that, Bijan Robinson game, but still a pretty good game. But when he came to town to play Charlotte, and he saw Derrick Brown, he had 10 carries still, but only 16 yards. I think that entire game, we only allowed 17 rushing yards for the whole game. Lockdown. You look at Javonte Williams, who is the 2nd leading rusher in the entire NFL right now. Dallas has the 2nd best rushing attack. They might have the 1st, actually, but the 2nd best rushing attack in the entire NFL. Before he got to Charlotte and played Derrick Brown, 16 carries, 135 yards, and a touchdown. When he got to Charlotte, he only had 3 less carries. He had 13 carries for 29 yards. He did not get any points on the board. And last but not least, this past week, this was a little wacky because, I mean, he didn't have a great game before this, but he is 12th in the entire NFL in rushing yards after having 2 bad games. So you know he has it in him. But Breece Hall, before he came to Charlotte, he had 22 carries for 59 yards. Not the best. But even when he got in front of Derrick Brown, he still had 11 carries for only 38 yards. Strapped up. It's really that simple. And like I said, when you're looking at Derrick Brown, it's these plays of strength, moving him all over the line, making plays in the backfield, making hustle plays. He's chasing guys down outside of the box, chasing running backs down outside of the box when they try to scramble or on design runs. He's chasing down screens. He's doing everything that you need him to do in the run game, to getting down and dirty, nitty and gritty, beating guys up, throwing guys past him. That we are now one of the best run defending units in the entire NFL. It's almost like I wonder how this defense and this team would have looked last year if Derrick Brown got to play. It wouldn't have been as good as it is now because we don't have a Bobby Brown. We don't have Trayvon Moehrig, or we didn't, I should say. We didn't have, what's my guy that came from the Chiefs? Tershawn Wharton. But we still had A'Shawn Robinson, who was also playing really, really good, who also played really good last year. We had Jadeveon Clowney, who's a good run defender. We still had DJ Wonnum last year. It would have just been interesting to see, to say the least. But let's move on to the pass rush, because you know you can't win this award without pass rush. Now, we all know that Derrick Brown did go to Ejiro Evero and tell him he wants to be involved more as a pass rusher. He wants to get more of an impact as a pass rusher. And we've seen that with his pass rush snaps going up. Now, it's interesting because he's still not getting he's not in every pass rush snap. He's getting 18 to 26 pass rush opportunities a game. So they're still keeping him fresh. They're rotating him in and out. He's not playing every single snap. So it's almost making what he's doing a lot more impressive. Not almost. It is making what he's doing a lot more impressive. His counting stats as far as pressures, not that high. I want to say he had only 9 or 10 pressures so far. But you also have to take into account he's a defensive lineman. They're not going to get a lot of pressures. You're going to see a lot of double teams, especially him. He's seeing a lot of double teams, especially on the pass and in the run game. But in general, you're going to get doubled a lot. So it's not a lot of pressures, but he's already matched his career high in sacks. He has 3 sacks so far this season. If you're going off PFF, he has 4 sacks because they don't count half sacks. So it's a really, really good player, but you're starting to see he's using a little bit more finesse. He's using a little bit more of that athletic ability. He's not just mauling guys and getting to the quarterback. He still is. He still is now. If he can overpower somebody, he's going to overpower and drive them back. It's really that simple. But I mean, the thing that comes to mind is that sack against the Miami Dolphins, how he kind of took one quick step, swipe, and crossed the face of Jonah Savaiinaea. I forgot how to say his name. I don't know why. I just said it earlier. But was able to get that sack on Tua. You look at a couple of the sacks from last week, the one that him and Nick Scorton got. I mean, they were kind of running a bubble screen and almost faking a zone run. So he crossed the face of Olu Fashanu's swipe pass. And that's something you would see a lot more from a finesse speed guy, to have that quickness to cross an offensive tackle's face who's a lot faster than the guard, still be able to go track Justin Fields down and get that sack. It's really, really interesting to start see him use some of that finesse, starting to see him use some of his athleticism. And it's crazy because he looks a lot bigger than he did last season or the last time we seen him healthy. So obviously something that he did in his training regimen, or something that he kind of, maybe him going to Ejiro Evero and saying, hey, I want more opportunities. I want to be more involved. I want to be a focal point in the pass rush. It's obviously worked. And we know that you need pass rush to win this award. It's that simple. But if we can get Derrick Brown to, and I know it's kind of a little crazy now if he's only sitting at 9-10 pressures, but let's say we get him to 40 pressures. He can get 7 sacks, maybe 8. Remember, we got 10 games left. He already has 3 in 7. If we can get him another 3 and an extra 1 or 2, up to 7-8 sacks, he's already doing what he's doing against the run. If we can get him, some more tackles and stops against the run, he has a really, really strong case to win Defensive Player of the Year. Not be in the running, because I already think he should be in the running regardless, but to win it. Because if you look at the facelift that he has done for this run defense, the facelift that he has added towards this pass rush to be a lot better, still one of the worst in the league, but a lot better than last year, because we're anchored by a lot of rookies, but he's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, him and A'Shawn Robinson. It's a conversation to be had. If you're talking about Defensive Player of the Year, it should be the most valuable player on a defense. He is easily the most valuable player on a defense right now in the NFL. Simple as that. Now, not a long video, but we do got to talk about the counting stats, because at the end of the day, you need stats to win an award. And his counting stats may not be eye-popping at first, but they're still really, really good. I ain't gonna lie to you. So, if you look at it, he's 26 in tackles, which is 9th amongst all defensive lines. He's like 18th or 17th, something like that, if you include edge rushers, which are kind of looped into off-ball linebackers now, at least on NFL Pro. It's weird, but hand in the dirt, guys, he's 9th amongst all of those guys. That simple. 24 stops in the run game, which is basically tackles that are a yard or at the line of scrimmage or behind. Any of those type of plays, he's 2nd in the entire NFL for guys who put their hand in the dirt. He's tied 2nd, I should say, with Myles Garrett. The only person that is in front of him is what's the guy that we just played? Quinnen Williams of the Jets. He has 3 more than Derrick Brown with 27. But being tied with Myles Garrett, that's not a bad thing. That's actually really, really good in helping his case. All right, last thing that we got to talk about. Like I said, he already has 3 sacks, which is career high. He's already matched that career high. We're only 7 games in. So like I said, if we can get him 4 more, 5 more, which is very doable. If he got 3 in 7 games, he can get 4 in 10, maybe 5 in 10. We're looking at a really, really good shaping up season. I mean, if you extrapolate it, I want to say it's 26 tackles divided by 7. So if you do that times 17, it's about 64, 65 tackles. I think he is going to heat up a little bit more. So if we can get him in his 70 tackle range, but even if he gets 65 to 70 tackles, he has 24 stops already. So if we divide that times by 17 with 58 to 60 stops in the run game, and then you give him 7 to 8 sacks, That's really, really good counting numbers. That's what he's projected at right now. That's really, really good counting numbers. All right, man, this been the whole video. I told y'all it's going to be a little different. I know it's not the scheme stuff, breaking things down. It's more about providing context, a little bit of narrative, providing context, showing what Derrick Brown is doing, showing his impact. But I'm so sick of Panthers players being overlooked, man. We're winning now. There is no reason we should be overlooked. I'm tired of Derrick Brown getting overlooked. I'm tired of my guy Brian Burns when he was here getting overlooked. I mean, look at him now. He's leading the league in sacks, one of the top of the league in stops, pressures, all of that stuff. He's going to have a case for Defensive Player of the Year. Imagine if we still had both of them on the roster. I mean, dog. Anyways, tired of J.C. Horn getting overlooked. Tired of Dante Jackson and the good years that he did have getting overlooked. I mean, bro, you got guys like Trayvon Diggs who are having great years, getting burnt and just creating turnovers. Dante Jackson was doing the same thing with less turnovers and getting beat less. I mean, I'm just tired of guys getting overlooked. Greg Olsen, I could do it all day, but it's time that we start putting a little bit of push behind our players. And it's up to us at the end of the day. Nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to be like, hey, look at the Panthers. I mean, if you look at the narrative, dog, we're winning now. If we can continue winning, which is very possible, and maybe make the playoffs, which is very possible, the narrative is there for Derrick Brown. They added Derrick Brown back, and they turned into one of the best defensive units in the NFL. That's the narrative. It's really that simple, but it's up to y'all, man. This video is really just a campaign ad at the end of the day. So if you like the video, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Hashtag DB for DPOY. Put it on Twitter. Keep pounding. Do all that stuff. Make it all a hashtag. We know he's going to be an all-pro this year. J.C. Horn is going to be an all-pro this year. I got to give him a shout-out. I got his jersey on because he had a great game. If it wasn't for that Miami game, I'd be doing this video on J.C. Horn too. I ain't going to lie. But yeah, man, it's up to y'all, man. So other content creators, go ahead, hashtag the DB for DPOY. Whatever we got to do, start pushing this narrative. Make it popular on Twitter. Make it popular on Instagram. Fan pages, push it, because that's the only way we're going to start getting recognition. I know y'all tired of getting overlooked too. So let's do it. But yeah, like I said, if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, do all that extra stuff. Share. Remember, I am going to be back later on this week for an actual scheme video with all 22. We're going to talk about Rico and Chuba and what the difference is. It's been a real ball watcher. I'm out. I'll see y'all next week.